The first question is for Miriam and Jane. Miriam and Jane, what is the importance of delivering every activity in the pack? Should we make adjustments for families, as sometimes my families are struggling? What do you do?
Okay, thank you. Very good question. And I think because I'm short and I see people over there, I'm going to stand up. Is that okay? So, what's the importance of delivering the whole program? Very important. And should we make adjustments? Absolutely. So that's in a nutshell. And let me take a minute to unpack that. The HIPPY approach and the HIPPY curriculum has been very carefully designed and developed over decades, actually. It's been over the last many, many years here evolved and adapted to the Australian context, and as you've heard in the last couple of days, will continue to be, which is always very important and happens in every country. So it's really important to keep working on the curriculum, to keep making sure that the curriculum is up to date with the newest research that we know about early literacy, early numeracy, developing all the preschool, the pre-learning readiness kinds of activities that we want the children in our program to have. Really important. And we work very, very hard on developing that curriculum. And people in Australia, some of them sitting right here in the back of the room, have worked very hard in developing that curriculum here. At the moment, you have 30 weeks for age 4, right? 15 and age 5. And there's some wonderful activities being developed in a pilot for age 3 that we've heard wonderful things about. So it's really important for us to hold a high standard and to say and to expect that our families will engage in this curriculum. It's been researched, it's been developed, it is evidence-based. We know that when children and families have these experiences over the course of these years, that they go into school ready to learn. We know what the outcomes are in many countries, and so we want to hold the bar high. We want to say, we expect this of you. And we expect that when we do our training with our home tutors, and when we then bring the home tutors to your home, and we provide a free service to your families, what you're going to give us is a commitment to work 15 minutes a day. That's the expectation. And I've heard lots of variations, and I can give you lots of stories of other, variations and what can happen what can happen to adapt to that expectation. And we'll talk about that in a moment. But the expectation is, this is what you're going to do. Why should we expect less of the families? You've put so much work into this program. You put so much work into training those tutors, into doing the role playing, into making sure that they know what they're going to do when they go into the homes. We want the parent to know, and we expect you to do it. Not 1 activity, not 2, but 15 minutes a day, every day. That's our expectation. Now, does that mean that every family is going to be able to comply with that expectation and meet that expectation, that some won't be struggling? Absolutely not. And we need to find very creative ways to work with the families that are having more difficulty. And I've heard lots of wonderful, wonderful ideas and approaches to doing that, and I'm sure you'll be continuing to share that. But we don't want to say that because we have a family that's having a difficult time with doing X number of activities that, all right, just do 1 activity. Or to all my families, we'll just do 1 activity. Just pick the one you like. Your child doesn't like reading books, or your child doesn't want to sit down, that's okay, then don't do it. That's not what our program is. That may be a different program, there may be a different approach, that's not our approach. We actually have very clear and high expectations for what we want, and we know that when we do that in an engaging, playful, endearing, communicative, relationship-building way, we are going to reach certain outcomes. And you've all done a very ambitious, put in a very ambitious plan into place at the Brotherhood and all of Hippy Australia this year. You're rolling out a program to 100 sites. You're bringing all this new staff in. You have all these wonderful additional initiatives, and you're doing an evaluation, all in the same year. It's huge. It's massive. So there is a lot going on, and no one can expect that all of that can be, done to the absolute, the most effective, most perfect way, exactly, with all those different initiatives happening at once. But we have to strive in all of them. So we're going to make a commitment. We're going to be doing some follow-up with Hippy Australia staff and with many of you to sort of really get back to the core, to the roots of what the basic core Hippy model is. It's a very simple model. It's a very, very simple model. And I have to say, I didn't create it. I've been working with it for many years, but I didn't create it. So I have to say, I believe it's a brilliant model because it works. And it's a model that allows us to engage families, low literacy families. That's our target. That's who we're designed to reach. And we do that by finding families, by finding parents in the community as our home tutors, by all of you being extremely expert and well-trained and well-versed in the curriculum and all the other supports that we know families need, and you working with your tutors in a role-playing method. And yes, I believe the role-playing method is important. I believe if you don't do it with the home tutors, they don't do it with the families. If they don't do it with the families, the parents don't do it with the children. It's just that simple. I can't tell you how many hundreds of families I visited, home visits I visited, when I watched the way the parent and the child are interacting with a game, with a story, with an activity, whatever it is, I can tell you exactly what the training was like by the coordinators. It just feeds back. So I do think working through the activity packets and through the games are important. And I do think we have to work really hard at those families, with those families that are struggling.